Good day. Hello, my name is Hyu-Yong. I'm teaching at Jeonbuk National University. Today, I'm very glad to present to you about the theme, Exploring Justice for All as a Secular Vision for Moving Toward Plant-Based Diet. This paper has been done by Paul and me, altogether 5 co-workers. Today, I'm take the role to represent this idea to the audience for the 2022 first FoCoS conference. Let me start from the abstract. Plant-based diets appear to be on the rise in many countries. Activities for plant-based diets usually argue that such diets are healthier for those who consume them and better for addressing climate change and kinder to non-human animals. This paper proposed a social justice argument for moving toward plant-based diets, that animal-based diets cause suffering and even death for the billions of less advantaged humans. To explore this issue further, a study was conducted with 116 students at 2 universities in Malaysia and the Philippines, who were asked for their responses to regions they might opt for to move away from animal-based diets. It was found that the justice region, along with concern about zoonotic pandemics, was rated for races of similar strengths compared to the other 3 regions for moving toward the plant-based diet. Implications for the case of any social change are drawn from these findings. We selected the 5 keywords: food justice, social justice, plant-based diets, less advantaged humans, social change. The first part is introduction. And in this introduction, I'm going to give you some clearer idea about why this theme is important and how it is related to the theme moving toward plant-based diet. Food justice can be in a large category part of social justice. It can be discussed in 3 main elements of food justice. First, the sufficient food to meet everyone's basic needs. Second, the production and distribution of food occurs without exploitation or oppression. And the third, everyone has the right to active participation, including decision-making in society's food system. Recently, has increasingly been discussed and researched as an important lens through which students and the public can understand the interplay between food, people, and the environment. So, food-based diet is not just the one choice for the various types of diets or ingestion of something for human health or human sustainability. The moving toward food plant-based diet has closely related to the issue of social justice, including the climate change issues and the environmental issues. Summer 2011 asked such questions. What would a food system look like that was based in life values, centered on the common and anchored by social justice? This paper considers the issue from the perspective of advocates of plant-based diets, aka alternative protein diets or animal-free diets. The organization of this paper has been composed of 4 main parts. The first one is this paper tried to explain 3 commonly cited overlapping secular regions for moving toward why we need to moving toward plant-based diet. And we are going to propose 4 secular regions, justice for poor people, and explain 6 areas in which animal agriculture specifically harm poor people. These 6 areas are world hunger, poor conditions of workers in animal agriculture, food desert, animal agricultural facilities sited where poor people live, and greater impact of climate change on poor people, and lastly, loss of indigenous peoples' land. So these 6 areas of topics are closely related to the matter of um, uh, plant-based diets. So, and to uh, make some data from the actual human being, we have interviewed um, with serving over 100 students from 2 universities in Malaysia and the Philippines, and asked how they perceive about the issues of food, plant-based diets by showing them 6 significant pictures, and we kind of run the statistical tests. The second part is literature review. There are some rationales of supporting plant-based diets. Um, the first one is upside the secular regions for moving toward plant-based food. All the world's major religions contain concepts supportive of diets that exclude food obtained through exploitation of non-human animals. So it would be great if we move toward plant-based diets from animal-based diets. It can serve the idea of many different religions and the ideology of idea of religion, many different religions, and it can serve for preventing the exploitation of non-human animals. The second, the house is on one matter. Uh, Appropriately planned vegetarian, including a vegan, and diets are healthful, nutritionally adequate, and may provide health benefits for the prevention and treatment of certain disease. These diets are appropriate for all stages of life cycle, including pregnancy, lactation, infancy, childhood, adolescence, early adulthood, and for athletes. Vegetarians and vegans are at reduced risk of certain health conditions, including ischemic health disease, type 2 diabetes, hypertension, certain types of cancer, and obesity. These examples are only a part of many healthy regions why we need to move toward plant-based diet. And third aspect is about the environment. The livestock sector emerges as one of the top 2 or 3 most significant contributors to the most serious environmental problems at every scale from local to global. The findings of this report suggest that it should be a major policy focus when dealing with problems of land degradation, climate change and air pollution, water shortage, and water pollution, and loss of biodiversity. The impact is so significant that it needs to be addressed with urgency. Major reductions in impact could be achieved at reasonable cost. Um, and these statements have been done by the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization in 2006. The fourth region is rationale is kindness toward the farmed animals. You know, the human society and have created different stages of farmed animals um, that those farmed are mostly serving for only human beings, not the other natural beings. The first region is they are sentient beings possessing intelligence, social needs, and emotions who are mostly certainly capable at a minimum of feeling pain. These sentient animals are forced to endure short, unnatural lives in a system called CAFOs. So confined animal feeding operations. So there are so many CAFOs are operating in the worldwide, and many animals have been farmed and raised with unhealthy and unethical environments. And these animals have sentient feelings, and almost every level or kind of uh, the conditions as animals, like human beings. The fifth rationale is justice for economically disadvantaged humans. Um, World hunger is one problem, and the conditions of workers in an animal agriculture sector. The food desert are exacerbated by corporate and government policy. Advances in processing and packaging, combined with government policies and handouts that force us cheap inputs for the food industrial complex, led to a glut of ready-to-eat, ready-to-heat, ready-to-drink, hyper-palatable, hyper-profitable products. To help assuage impatient investors, marketing became even more pervasive and pervasive. So this was a very serious problem. We are some are aware of these issues, and while most of the other people are unaware of this problem, is just only served for the convenience region. The setting of CAFOs where poor people live, and the unequal impact of climate change, and these indigenous people, the, these are another reasons why the plant-based diets or plant-based diet has some opportunity to contribute the justice for many economically disadvantaged humans. The methodology of this research is from the questioning from the main question, like, is the justice rationale valid in terms of health, environment, and kindness toward non-human animals? So health regions, environmental regions, and the ethical regions, which is kindness toward non-human animals, are the main question of research. These, the main theme has been organized with six different questions. It is a survey with the interview type surveys with 116 students from two major universities in Malaysia and in the Philippines. The survey has been conducted in early 2021, and the samples are just purposeful samples. It's a convenient sample with the purposeful sampling as a quality study. And we have introduced that there are 5 co-authors for this research. And the first author is a faculty member at the Malaysian University and regularly gave invited lectures to the Philippines University. So the first author was gave lectures to the university students in Philippines University, and among those students, the 116 students was consented with this research and joined the target questions interviews. Participants range in age from 20 to 45 with an average age of 24.8. Participants, and these are the table of participants demographic. There are many religious backgrounds. They have many religious backgrounds: Buddhism, mostly Hinduism, and Islam, and etc. So maybe this background give you some idea how the participants' um, religious background uh, was about. These are the materials. Six narrated PowerPoint presentation has been used. Um, Moving toward the plant-based diet did not necessarily mean 100% adoption of such a diet, and that it could be as little as reducing meat consumption. So, for example, eating one piece of chicken, whereas previously the person usually ate two pieces of chicken at a meal. The five regions of interest in this study for moving toward plant-based diets has been concluded, and we have and consented with these five regions would be the most uh, critical rationale why people um, rethink their habits or their ideas about diet from animal-based to plant-based diet. So as we have introduced in the literature review section, the five rationales are consist of health, environment, kindness to non-human animals, and justice for poor people, and prevention of genetic pandemics. So plant-based diets would might have chance to help the pandemic symptoms, pandemic events, um, prevent pandemic events in the global climate, global situation. Each presentation lasted approximately 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Let me show you those six pictures that have been used for the interviews. The first picture, as you might imagine or guess, is this picture signals the issue of world hunger. And the second picture give you is related to the conditions of workers in the non-human agricultural sector. This is a picture taken by the below credit and showing that many indigenous or poor people have been exploited uh, from working in the animal agriculture sectors. And the third picture gives you the idea, the lack of access to healthy food. This is a picture of a volunteer who shares some food for the poor people or some indigenous people in very poor regions. It's about food desert. And the fourth picture on the right side of the PPT is about the setting up couples where people or poor people live. This is a very famous the title page of indigenous independence movie. And the fifth picture is that this picture is related to the theme, the unequal impact of climate change. So it is well known common sense that climate change have greater or greatest impact on especially the poor people or the people in living very unprivileged society of the globe. And the sixth rationality is it is related to the lives conditions of the indigenous people. So these six pictures have been shown to the participants, and they were asked to reply how would they rate some or choose the most critical rationale for their thinking, the shift of their thinking from animal-based diet to plant-based diet. One on their present diet and 6 items for the 6 PPT. We use the Likert scale from 1 to 5 scale. The participants that were asked to answer response from 1 to 5. If they strongly agree with the rationale, they check the 5 like that. Rated their perception of the strengths of the regions presented in the 5 PowerPoint presentations. Okay, this is a result. It simply gives you idea how um, the rating has been distributed. And the main findings is among the 5 regions on in the middle section, the 3 regions, save the environment, increase your health, and is a good way to share or show some kindness to animals. So the 3 rationales are considered as the main reason why we need to uh, um, move from animal-based to plant-based diet. And the strength of 5 regions for moving toward a plant-based diet is especially the save the environment issue and be kind to animals issue is closely related to, as you see from the statistical result. So these are 2 main reasons why save the environment and um, because saving the environment is related to the be kind of the animals and the if we can save the environment issue, we might stop or prevent the pandemics in the future. Let me share some discussions with these findings. The findings of this study indicate that people who rated the 3 more common secular regions, health, climate change, and being kind to non-human animals, and animal culture and its many deleterious impacts are perpetuated by the denial of responsibility by those involved, including the consumers of animal-based food, and who often live far from the disappearing rainforest and the kafo, the wasting children, and the flooded homes, and the food desert, and the fishing boat staffed by slaves. These are um, these are the evidences why this issue, that is not only about the dietary selection, but it is closely related to the many the detrimental or deleterious um, the businesses or the the many profit-based organizations of some companies. Indeed, research in psychology on the emotional correlates of injustice suggests that a more advantaged in a society devote less attention to feel less concern or less disadvantage, which means poor, rich people, rich countries do not care about these um, um, the global issues, climate issues, or the animal rights issues, and and by educating people, young generations, this issue, it would prevent them their continuous exploitation of the animals, exploitation of the poor people in poor land. Okay. This way, we have argued for the expansion of the secular regions by typically given by activities for plant-based diets beyond that. Such diets are healthier for those who consume them, better for addressing climate change, and kinder to non-human animals. Indeed, the social justice movements on both the academic and the public plans and can be more fruitful when rather than forming silos or people look toward building bridges. So education is a very good, very important approach to educate people about this issue and um, gives gives them some trial for the change of their behaviors, the change of the habits. Okay. Thank you for your attention. These are the selected references, and I hope you enjoy all the conference. Thank you.